Hello sports fans, welcome to Super Sport Central. Today, we're going to be going over my Week 7 UFL predictions. So last week I had a record of 4-0, and that brings my record on the season to 13-11. Still not very good, but better than what it was. But we'll start off with the game we have on Friday, and that is the Defenders at the Brahmas. And we'll have a live watch for this game starting at about 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, so I hope to see you guys there. But this is an interesting game. The Brahmas, they're only 1-5, and they've really struggled so far this season, but their one win came in DC when they beat the Defenders 24-18 back in Week 4. So maybe the Brahmas can get another win. Although since that win for the Brahmas, they've been terrible, as over the past few weeks, they're being outscored 53-6 and have not scored a single touchdown. The Brahmas are going to be starting Kevin Hogan at quarterback for the second straight week, and he was okay last week in his season debut, but nothing too impressive. The Brahmas, they also made a big trade earlier this week, trading corner Darius Phillips to the Showboats for receiver D. Anderson. And Anderson has been pretty solid so far this season, so maybe he can provide a spark for the Brahmas offense, although I don't think receiver has been the problem. But the Brahmas offense is scoring a league worst 11.8 points per game, and then they'll face a Defenders defense that is solid, allowing 22.2 points per game. Of the Defenders, they've struggled recently, allowing 33 points week 5 and 38 points last week. But I do think the Defenders, they have a chance to get back on track defensively against a terrible Brahmas offense. Then the Defenders offense, they're scoring 21.8 points per game, which is actually second best in the UFL, and they face an awful Brahmas defense that is allowing 26 points per game. The Defenders also have the best passing offense in the UFL, and the Brahmas with the worst passing defense. Well, I have the Defenders getting the win here. The Brahmas, they did beat the Defenders on the road earlier in the year, so I can definitely see the Brahmas with the win because they're at home, but the Brahmas, they've just been so bad recently, and I don't really see them turning that around this week, and I've got the Defenders with the win pretty easily, 30-9. Moving to the game we have on Saturday, and that is the Panthers at the Renegades. So this is a game that I think should be pretty good, and this is a game that can definitely go either way. The Panthers, they're 4-2 and coming off a dominant win over the Defenders, and the Renegades are 3-3 and lost to the Battlehawks. The Renegades, they also need this game to get back in the win column and keep pace in the XFL playoff race. And the Renegades, they need their offense to be a lot better. Last week they scored a season-low 6 points, and they've been extremely inconsistent offensively so far this season, as they're either scoring 30 points or under 11. It's extremely inconsistent, but it averages out to about 20.3 points per game, which is 4th in the UFL. The Renegades offense is unfortunately going to be without running back Kalen Balaj for this week and actually the entire rest of the season, as he's out with a shoulder injury. And that is a big loss for the Renegades, because Balaj was second in the UFL with 306 rushing yards, and he was a big part of the Renegades offense. Now, the Renegades did sign former Notre Dame running back Tony Jones Jr., who also has NFL experience, although he's going to be inactive this week. But the Renegades offense against the Panthers defense, that is quite good, as they held a good Defenders offense to just 14 points last week, and on the season, they're allowing 18.5 points per game. Although the Panthers, they also have some injuries, as corner Levante Taylor is out for the season. Then on the flip side, the Panthers offense, led by MVP frontrunner Bryce Perkins, is leading the UFL, scoring 26 points per game, and they're coming off a 38-point performance last week against the Defenders, and that is the most points scored by any team yet this season. Now, the Panthers offense, they match up against a Renegades defense that is second best in the UFL, allowing just 15.3 points per game. But this is a tough game to predict, and I can definitely see this game going either way. The Renegades, they're at home, and I can definitely see them getting the win, but I just don't trust the Renegades with how inconsistent they are on the offensive side of the ball. Plus, they're without Kalen Balaj, so I'm going to take the Panthers to get the win. They're the better, I think, more well-rounded team. They're the better team, especially on offense, and I've got the Panthers with the win, 21-16. And moving to the games on Sunday, beginning with the Roughnecks at the Stallions. So this is a huge game for the USFL playoff race, as the Stallions are currently sitting at 4-2, but the Roughnecks are 3-3, and they've also been playing fairly well, winning 3 of their last 4 games. The Roughnecks, they also really need this game, because not only are the Stallions already a game up, but the Stallions already won the first meeting between these two teams. But as I said a second ago, the Roughnecks, they're playing pretty well, winning 2 straight and 3 of their last 4, although all 3 wins have come against pretty bad teams. As the Roughnecks, they've beaten the Showboats twice and the Brahmas, the 2 worst teams in the UFL. So we're definitely going to learn a lot about exactly how good the Roughnecks are this week. But the Roughnecks offense is scoring 16.2 points per game, and they face a great Stallions defense that has really carried them to this point in the season, as the Stallions are allowing 13.7 points per game, which is best in the UFL. The Stallions' defense is also set to get Kenny Robinson and Daniel Eisen back from injury, and that is going to help a defense that is already really good. Then offensively for the Stallions, they have not been the best, scoring just 18.5 points per game, and they continue to be banged up at the quarterback position, although it does seem like Case Cookus isn't wanting to start his third consecutive game. And the Stallions offense, they faced a Roughnecks defense that's actually pretty good, allowing 17.5 points per game, which is tied for third best in the UFL. But this is a big game for both teams. The Stallions, they're at home and they have not lost at home since they lost to Houston on May 13th, 2023, which is nearly 2 years to the day. It's actually 2 days off from when this game will be played. But I'm going to take the Stallions. They're at home, a place they've been great over the past couple of seasons. I also think the Stallions are just the better, more well-rounded team. I think their defense controls this game, their offense does enough, and I've got the Stallions with the win, 20-14. And our final game, also on Sunday, we've got the Battlehawks at the Showboats. The Battlehawks, they're coming off an ugly 12-6 win over the Renegades, and the Showboats lost a tight win to the Roughnecks. This is actually a must-win game for the Showboats if they want to stay alive in the playoff race, and they'll be eliminated with a loss or wins by the Stallions and Panthers. But offensively for the Showboats, they've been pretty solid in the 2 starts for dress or win, as in those 2 games they're scoring 22 points per game, which is over their season average of 16 points per game. But the Showboats, they traded away D. Anderson, as I said before, and I definitely think that can negatively impact the Showboats' offense. Because D. Anderson was Dresser Wynn's favorite target in his first couple of starts, as Anderson, over those 2 games, was targeted a team-high 14 times. But the Showboats' offense, they matched up against a Battlehawks defense that did not allow a single touchdown last week, and on the season, they're allowing 17.5 points per game, tied for third best in the UFL. Then on the other side, the Battlehawks' offense needs to be better than they were last week, where they scored just 12 points, and they also need quarterback Max Duggan to play a lot better. But the Battlehawks' offense, they're still pretty good, scoring 21.8 points per game on the year, which is third best in the UFL. And they face a Showboats defense that is decent, allowing 21.5 points per game, and they're also great against the pass, allowing 153 passing yards per game, plus they get even better after they traded for Darius Phillips. So I definitely think this could be another tough game for Max Duggan and the Battlehawks offense through the air. But I'm going to take the Battlehawks to get the win here, even though I think they might struggle to throw the ball against a great pass defense. I think they'll be able to run the ball effectively, plus I think the Battlehawks just the better overall team, and even if their offense isn't great once again, their defense is good enough where I still think they can get the win. So I've got the Battlehawks with the win by a score of 23-14. But those are Week 7 UFL predictions. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, turn notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible. Be sure to check out the community tab of my channel, where you guys can vote on who you think win this week's games. But that's all for this video. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.